It was just like me.
I
don't know.
What kind of story though? Are we not going to talk about it before you hit record?
Like, everyone, like...
Let me think.
Went to Magaluf with all the boys, you know.
Basically my dad.
And making friends that had similar music taste to me.
Around my nans, I hadn't seen in time.
Back
Brandon, good boy.
We were basically stuck in a hotel.
Me, as an adult, alone, with my adult nan.
A guy asked me out for a drink and I didn't really think much of it.
First festival experience last year.
And the whole first day on the beach, he didn't put any suntan lotion on.
And he decided just to get really, really drunk. And we lost him for ages.
He was getting flashbacks of this in like dreams and that. And she didn't know why.
And he was so funny and just so amazing, and he knocked me off my feet.
Had the best experience I've ever had before.
And I've never seen sunburn like it. Blisters pussing up everywhere. He had to go to the hospital and had to pop it open with wooden sticks.
Then we get like a knock on our door and a guy, he brings in my dad with just his underwear. He has no clothes on.
It made me feel, at that moment, like, just the pure innocence of like, life. And I was just like, I felt genuinely connected.
4 days, what was it? Even camping in the rain, like, loved it, loved all of it. It was just the best sort of vibe. The vibe that I want to be around, and just listen to pain tunes really. So.
And it turns out my dad had been going up and down the lift for like ages, just in his underwear, and the bouncer found him and like brought him to our door. Yeah.
Pretty much for the rest of the holiday, he looked like he was making his own fucking beef jerky. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a surprise, and it took me by storm, and it's been incredible.
Her blatant honesty and openness just made me feel even closer, and I just happily smiled at that moment when she was telling me that. I don't know, yeah.
When I was 14, I went to my first gig.
So when I was younger, I was forced to play, I was made to play team sport. Just like regular on the day prejudice, like sort of.
So there was one time in a club back in Belfast where there was this guy.
The world has become so comfortable with casual racism of sort.
It was like proper like first time I got into like a mosh pit, and I was like, whoa, I was like in the mosh pit.
Just got 2 left feet, wasn't very good at it. Growing up in a predominantly white area, you'd naturally feel you'd get an atmosphere or a vibe, or someone look at you in a different way or treat you slightly different to your peers.
And I'd seen him once before, but I was quite clearly just not very interested. I was pretty sober.
Like racing into banter and stuff a few times at school, and it's not I'm not sort of one person to keep my cool and be the bigger person in those situations, so it's got me in trouble before.
It was like really tight as well, so you couldn't really move, and then I fell and fell over because it's me.
Well, like, within 5 minutes actually, I'd let in more goals than I could count with my hands and feet. The girl was like, I don't think we should be together because you're black and I'm white, and I was like, oh, hey, that probably was like a fucking like switch. I don't know.
I was sweating profusely. It was awful. He smelled bad. He could barely string a sentence together.
Just go into a club and there's a few black lads, a few Asian lads. You're not getting in. They'll think of any excuse under the sun just to not let you in.
And then this boy, he helped me up, and I was like, oh, thank you so much. But then he was like, oh, you're welcome, and just started like basically groping me for like ages, and I couldn't move, and I was just like, what? And yeah, he just touching me up for ages, and I couldn't like move at all because like the crowd was so.
I'm at a grand from my own team who were giving me loads of abuse for not trying hard enough. I think it didn't click with me probably at the time as much as it probably should have, because of the environment I was in.
And so I was waiting in the queue for the toilet, and he hadn't left me alone all night. Next thing, he like grabs me here, pushes me up against a wall, and just like rams his tongue down my throat.
But like casual racism in society as well, where you go to a club, you go to a shop, and you feel you might not be happening, but inside you feel like you're being watched and you're being treated differently.
And yeah, it's pretty harsh. Yeah.
I don't know, when you're quite young. I think that was definitely like 14. It was just a bit like, I don't know, you just want to have a good time.
But like I said, then there's loads of places where you just get racially profiled anyway. Like if you go into a club, you go into a shop, obviously a man's just. Even the other day I went into bloody Sainsbury's and
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Stop doing that. Anyway, I managed to get him off me. He had absolutely no perception that it was in any way wrong, that it was in any way unconsensual.
And you dress the same, but what can you do about the colour of your skin, and how is that in any way a reason to stop you from getting your part in society the way you want to?
Especially when some mum and a grand shouting at you because you're not good enough, so you're not manly enough to play a sport.
I just remember that's the kind of first time I experienced that at like a gig, and there's like plenty more stories since then, but that was like the first time it kind of like happened.
And it happens a lot. And so I started running down the road and this guy was like running after me, but thankfully he had a broken leg, so which got away.
the man's just watching me down the aisles, and as I'm leaving, because I can see him directly looking at me in the viewpoint, and that's where I'm going, wearing large clothing and I'm a huddle, but I've obviously paid for my items. I'm walking out the shop with a bag. I'm not, just an atmosphere.